Hey everybody, welcome to the Firebird Can't Do Anything Right podcast, where you see me trying to get your attention for 30 minutes.
That's the new title today. That's the new title.
So
it's perfect. Guys, this is podcast episode 2.5, not 3, because we're continuing from where we left off last time.
Well, yeah, the last podcast was just butchered, and I have no one but myself to blame.
So now we're back.
And Omar.
We're back to we're back to old management. So again, I'm the Bosch. I'm the broadcaster for the show. Who wants to say who they are next?
Oh yeah, I am Brock. I am Firebird. I am the content creator. And then there is that lovely sweet cheeks in the corner. Well, technically we're all in the corner.
Are you talking about Soraya?
No, I'm talking about Robert.
Who's the sweet cheeks?
I'm talking about
Why must you talk to me so?
I love you.
It's love.
I love you too.
It's all about love.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a great show today. We got tons of topics to talk about. Again, for those of you who do not know, Dungeon Fighter is still closed. So there's a reason why we talk about Dungeon Fighter, because that's all we do these days. We just talk the talk. We're not playing the game. We don't have a beta date yet, and it's sad, but we keep ourselves entertained, and we keep you guys entertained, hopefully, with our show. So, Firebird, if you want, let's get on the list of topics we got for today.
Okay. 1. I didn't write any of this down.
Ooh, wow.
Nice.
I mean, I was shocked. I was like, oh, he's got paper. He's going to give us a real show.
Okay, so, first topic. We're talking about our favorite quest lines, correct?
Yes. Our favorite quest lines.
Okay, we're just going to go around the table, say our favorite quest lines, and we'll just explain them in the same order that we set ours in. That work?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay, so my favorite quest line is Kargon's Love.
Why is that? Why of all the quests in the entire game, the level 10 quest excites you the most?
Well, first of all, a lot of people, after you get into the game a lot of people don't even read the quest lines anymore, which is sad, really, because this game has so much lore and so much fun, fantastic storylines that you can listen to. But I think the best part about it is I relate to it, being with women through high school.
Did that happen? Did that happen to you? Were you a dark elf in need of some loving?
I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Abandoned as a child and
Chocolate
raised
elf
by dark
needs some loving.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
I wish I could be raised by dark elves.
All right, so I mean, keep going. Like, why that quest? Like,
well, it's different than most quests in games. You're not grinding 30 bows off of a pig to give to a girl that doesn't explain what she's going to do with them. He's just like, hey, go do this for me, please, as a friend. So you do it, and he's like, okay, I need a few more things. Go ask her what I should do next, because he doesn't even know what to do. She's friend with her. Go talk to her. It's like, yeah, just go get this from what's his name, and we'll be fine. So you go and you get this thing from Grubik, and you're like, okay, what do I do with this? Like, just go give it to her, man. Just do me a solid. Take this note. Okay. You're just like, oh, that's sweet, but no. It's like, now I'm in the position where I have to tell him no. It's like, well, that's easy. All I have to do is right-click him. So you go up to him, right-click him. Like, my hopes and dreams. Why? How is it? But unlike other quest lines, I'm like, oh, how do I tell him that? I'm like, oh, that's how. I don't have to worry about it. There's nothing to take stuff. Here's your shit back. And that's it.
Sorry, bro. It just didn't work. She didn't like the stuff you gave her.
I'm sorry, but she's not very materialistic. Although the first time I saw her, she sent me back in the dungeon to find a ring. Maybe she's married.
Maybe she's already married. I don't know. I didn't like that quest because it had this whole like, it's like they're holding your hand pretty much like saying this. It's like Cargon's like, I want me a girlfriend. I like serial Kierman. So can you help me find a girlfriend, specifically serial Kierman? You're like, okay. I'll ask some other chick who knows about love. And then you go, and then what's her name? Lorraine or Lorianne? I forget.
I think it's Lorianne.
Lorianne. You go to Lorianne, and I'm like, hey, Lorianne, my buddy Cargon needs some loving. And she's like, oh, man, ladies love rings. And she's like, lady love, like, give her a silk arm guard. By the way, I sell silk arm guards. So I'm like, so you want me to buy stuff from you?
Well, if you go to a shop, that's going to happen.
Yeah. It's like, hey, what are you guys? It's like, oh, we're a gun store. Okay, look, my friend needs a girlfriend. Have you considered buying that lady a gun? No.
This has a heart engraved on it.
Yeah, it says shot through the heart. Then you're to blame. I'm like, that's so cheesy. I'll take it. Like shot through the heart. Bon
she does
Jovi.
Like she does love John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, it's like she does love the Bon Jovi. I guess that would work.
Speaking of which, just a little side tip. I had a female gunner in the old DFO called Tron Bon Jovi.
Tron Bon Jovi? That's clever.
Yeah.
I like that. You got the Mega Man in there, and then you got Bon Jovi.
Nobody on the stream take that. I haven't created her yet on that, so, hold off. I'm pointing over here because they're on my other screen. This is you guys. Every time I point over here, I'm talking to you, Twitch. You hear me? All 13 of you.
All 13 of you.
All 13.
Such a grand scope. Such a grand audience we have today. But no, this is our lovely audience, so we respect them no matter what. All right, Chase, what is your favorite quest line and why?
My favorite quest line is the Behemoth quests.
Are you sure?
Not only are those dungeons insane and a challenge to go through, but if you actually take the time to read, like, everything that Lotus is doing to the GBL and everything that the GBL is going through, and Ophelia's trying to fix all this, I just like it. It's awesome.
Lotus.
Yeah.
That's my impersonation of the squid. Yeah.
And not to mention the fight against Lotus is both fun and miserable at the same time.
I like how miserable, like you already said that, like, a pain. The dungeons are a pain to run. The boss fight's a pain, and yet it's your favorite quest line. I'm wondering, I'm like,
yes.
Are you a masochist?
No.
Are you sure? Because whenever I do Behemoth, like when I hit level 28, and I'm like, all right, level 30, I get my new skills, and I go to Behemoth, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to play this character anymore. Like, I had fun. I had my fun. I enjoyed playing my Soulbender, but now level 30, I just don't want to play anymore.
They are not that bad anymore. You remember how big Dendroid Jungle used to be before they fixed?
Oh my god!
It's like, welcome to my maze forest.
Yeah, they give you the map was like this huge. There's like this little tiny dot in this big old gigantic black thing.
No,
like,
remember,
where do I go?
Remember Second Spine? Like, Second Spine is now like kind of like an L. Like, it's more like a G. Before it was like an O. It just went like around. It was like Snake. It was a game of Snake.
It was
the worst.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's like what's the best solution we got? Just make a snake and have the boss fight right in the center. And if you're lucky, they'll have like the other spot, which is one less space to enter, one less room. I'm like, thanks, guys.
Now. And we'll be talking more about the differences later about that kind of stuff.
Wait. So, remind me, the quest. This is what I get from the quest line based off my limited reading skills. Ophelia is all like, "Hey, Lotus bad. Kill the Lotus," and you're like, "Okay, I want XP." Did I get the gist?
Kind of, but in essence, from what I gathered, the GBL used to be like zealots that fight for peace, and then Lotus took over their minds and made them suddenly very bad and trying to kill Behemoth.
Die.
Okay.
So they're like a massive cyst on Behemoth's back.
So GBL through the mind control of Lotus was essentially the cancer in the Behemoth.
Yeah, basically.
Sorry,
like you're fighting,
I have to speak like that.
Cancer.
It's gross when you think of those big bubbles that pop and then there's
Oh
squids.
god, yeah. God, what was the name of that dungeon?
Which one? The spine?
The one with all the blood.
Oh, Chamber of Blood.
Yeah, Chamber of Blood. Duh.
Yeah.
That
one. The one with the
Was
blood.
that the epicenter of the cancer? Like, was that the worst part?
Maybe it's his heart.
I think
I don't remember.
That one. If I remember correctly, it was the final and hardest dungeon in the Behemoth branch.
That was my favorite grind.
I mean, that was like that one grind you did like when you're in mid-30s and you just don't want to go into like
before the level cap was raised again.
Pretty much.
Yeah. The nice thing is you got pots for grinding in it, so you got for those. Yeah.
Speaking of those pots, I always forget to use them. Like always.
Really?
I would always. You're talking about the experience pots, right?
No, not those ones.
Oh.
I always forget to use those too, though.
Just the not potions, as in real pots. The ones that you break to get equipment.
Oh, okay. I was talking about experience pots, because the trick I used to do was, like, you know how when you kill a boss and then it goes to slow motion? You know? The trick was, right when the slow motion starts, start the pot, so that you immediately get that first, like, double experience benefit, and then you just keep running and running, because then you want to waste that run time you did for that boss. That's what I used to do, right? But I'd always forget, because I was so in the zone trying to kill the boss, that when the time it's like, boss is dead, I'm like, yeah, we did it, guys, we won. And I was like, did everyone use their pot? And everyone else on my team's like, yeah. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Damn, forgot that. Oh, my God.
I'm just going to clear up with everybody. DFO is not back. Whoever keeps messaging me asking if DFO is back because we're doing a podcast, that's a no.
Someone's messaging you, like, personally?
Well, through the refugee channel. But I keep getting that question, and just to make it clear, we don't know when it's coming back, but as soon as we know, you'll know. You
gotta admit, it's really nice whenever we post something like, hey, we're gonna have this podcast, and then one of the responses is always like, when's DFO coming back? I'm like...
Yeah. I always send them to that FAQ I made on DFO Core. But
anyway, I saw that.
Yeah, Omar, your turn.
Okay, so my favorite quest was the Black Earth quest. For those of you who don't recall, that is the other verse for the Chronicle 3 runs. It's the one where you fight Ozma. And there are many, many reasons behind why I like that. But I'm going to start with the simplest thing. The music is by far the most epic music ever. When I used to party with my group, we would call it the power walk music. So we never run in the dungeon. We just walk to the next place because we're all like walking so epic, like, you know, like just like marching into the next room. Then we fight like crazy, and then once done, we just march to the next room. Like, it just had that vibe where it's like, you must now march to your next destination. You know, like, it was so strong, so powerful, right? Plus, it was the one storyline that was heavily based around the priest mythology and, like, their lore. So, I played tons of priest characters. So just seeing, like, Mikkel and, like, knowing more about Nelvis Gracia and knowing about Ozma, who essentially is the person who makes, you know, most of the priests into Avengers. That's how we have the Avenger class. So it was kind of like a big deal because that was, to me, was like, these are my characters. They're going through this suffering. But it was just something else. Like, it just felt great. And it was probably... I would argue it was the harder of the 3 dungeons that came out during that update. There was, Interdimensional Rift. That was just like the one, like, you know, like a party game. Like, just if you knew the tricks, you were fine. Then there was the one where you fought, oh god, what's his name? Man. Big dragon dude.
Sure.
Bakal, there we go. You fight Bakal. And that's not too bad, except at the end, like, the boss fight's hard. But Ozma's fight was pretty much like the craziest thing, because, like, he was just like, I'm gonna give you guys a pain in the ass. Like, all right. You had this deal with it to think, like, above and beyond. Like, the only people who really would win, like in King's Road, were people who just were decked out to the max, or just could literally play for the long haul for like many minutes just to solve that little trick. So the most interesting questline, most interesting level for me, definitely. It's something that when the game comes back and I get to level 70, like, I want to do that as much as possible. Just listen to the music. So I'm totally down with that.
Yeah. I never got to level 70, so...
I have to be completely honest. I did hit the level cap, but I never played Otherverse or any of those special dungeons. Guys, because
those are practically like every other MMO I played. I get stumped at the end when I hit max level because I'm like, now what do I do? But Dungeon Fire was the one game that actually solved it by being like, oh yeah, the game actually just starts. Like getting to level 70 was like just the first part. The real game's like now trying to actually get gear that you actually want to use and impress your friends with, doing crazy ass dungeons that get harder and harder each time we update the game. Like, it's just unbelievable.
That's the big thing though, is I didn't have that good of armor because I didn't like spending money. My only goal in that game when I hit the max level cap was saving money and grinding for cubes. That's all I would do.
Dude, you had so many cubes.
I had so many cubes. I was reaching off of the freaking limit of number limit. So it's just like showing people where other items were. Oh, I had so many cubes. I miss it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that in the future, when the game comes back, if there's any cube concerns I have, I will ask you first.
Oh, I love cubes.
I'll be like, excuse me, Cube Master Fireberg, do you have any cubes for me today?
And they just fall out of my hands.
It's like, why can't I hold all these cubes?
I became an alchemist so I can turn other cubes into different cubes, so I had everything organized and balanced.
Was that ever financially fiscal? Like, was that a financially smart move to do? Because I felt like it was just too much of a cost.
I had enough money to do it.
Okay, we get it. You have a cube obsession. That's.
Oh, I am obsessed with cubes.
I will talk to you when I want to awaken, and I need 2 red cubes to get a dungeon doll.
You do understand I have to start all over, though, right?
Oh, I know. We all have to start over somewhere.
Yeah. So.
All right, guys. I have a question from someone in the community here.
Yeah.
Wait, my turn.
How do you feel about Fair Arena most probably being replaced upon launch?
I'm going to bring that up later. I don't know too much about PvP, but I have. We're going to talk about community events later, and I'll bring that up at the time. But I don't know anything about PvP because I don't play it. I don't know the difference between a fair arena and normal arena. I hear it's different.
I know the difference between the two, so I can take the answer. So basically, a normal arena is you using your character that you have your gear on, and you're fighting like people who have the same thing. Fair arena is when you have a certain set gear, and you have a certain build that you start out with, and you can reset it later on, of course. But you basically have it's like a whole separate PvP character, even though he looks just like you, but he doesn't have any of the equipment. You can buy equipment in Fair Arena, but it's equipment that's available to everybody. So there's no you can't be super out geared. But if you're very skilled and you play a lot, you can definitely have more gear than most people. But essentially, it boils it down to skill. It's skill versus skill.
That's pretty nice.
So it was a way to get people to play PvP and have fun without having to be like, well, I still have to level up my PvE character. And I believe it was you just had to get to to level 10 or 20, and then you'll just have your Fair Arena character will be at max level, so to say. So you have all the skills and whatnot, but you just have to unlock the stuff to get the skills in a different way. So it was not to level you up; it was just to play PvP without a boundary of time you put into your PvE character.
Okay, so once you hit go on.
So
once you hit level 20, I know we keep doing that.
It's all right.
Once you hit level 20, you can use any skill of your characters. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, they're saying level 18, but yeah, but essentially basically I think it's when you hit your subclass level. You then had a character who was essentially level 70 in Fair Arena, but with equipment equal to everyone else. So everyone was the same level, and everyone had the same gear. If you were to all start out the same day. And then by playing more, you get these tokens that you can redeem to get better gear. So the only way to get better gear in Fair Arena was to play more Fair Arena. That's the only way. It did not translate to PvE. So it was a sole PvP experience only, which is awesome because some people just don't want to. It's I don't want to play all the time to get my PvP gear good. I'll just play PvP and get my skill up and just have fun.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had a whole idea for PvP events, and one of them was to have only level 20s, so everybody's basically in the same class, and all you had to do was worry about certain equipment.
Yeah, basically Fair Arena would fix that problem. And I think what happens is that Fair Arena is just gonna have better, they temporarily remove it in Korea for some strange reason. Okay. But then they bring something else that has more matchmaking. So for tournament-wise, they'll have something. But I think tournament stuff, to be more appropriate and more better balanced, they will usually be run by Neopol itself. So here's hoping that Neopol likes us enough, and then they'll actually keep that, because not every Korea update comes to America, Because there's always things that's like, oh, the Korean market does not like doing fair arena. That does not mean that American market won't like it either. So they'll still give it a shot. So there are cultural differences. And so we're hoping for it.
Yeah. Neopal seems to like us a lot, so
yeah,
I feel confident that they will give us what we want.
I agree, definitely.
But I also hope that they're not just like the babysitter who's just like, oh, okay, well, we didn't make the goal that we wanted, but you know what? Take it anyway, because you look like a good kid. And then I hope that we aren't just the kind of kid who takes the crayons and call all over mommy's wall and make the babysitter mad, and so to speak.
Right. So
if you kind of know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't do all the dishes, but here you go. I trust you. So whatever you do, guys, don't call all over mommy's wall, and we'll all be safe. In other words, give them money.
Yeah, basically. Here's the thing: when the game goes live and the first avatar package or whatever comes out, like if you really support Neopal and you really love this game, even if it's not the package you want, like buy it. Like show them that we really care. If it's like, oh, I don't like the mage avatar set. Like it's okay. Like we want your favorite mage avatar set to come out in the future. So please buy this one so that they know we have money to spend and they made the right decision to bring this game to America again. How many games do we know get started up professionally again after they close down? I don't know a single one.
I actually read in Game Informer that about 10 MMOs closed last year, and so far Dungeon Fighter Online is the only one that's coming back.
Like not just this year, I think ever. Because I know people like private servers, stuff like that. This is official public service yet again. Like I've never heard this story before. It's boggles my mind.
It's amazing, but the biggest thing is I think that no, it's very popular in Korea though. It's like it's on top 10. I know that. One of the most popular ones in Korea.
It's kind of like absurd when you think about it. It's like we here in America we're like, oh yeah, this game's fun. You tell people about it, they're like, oh, I don't know, it doesn't really appeal to me. I'm like, okay. And then they're playing League of Legends, and you're like, all right, I get why you like League of Legends. I get why you like Dota. I understand that. But then I go to Korea, and then like it's like League of Legends, Dota. Sure, they're good, and then there's like Dungeon Fighter, which is still like it's like competing with them in terms of viewership and money. I'm like, what?
Right.
How's that game so much popular there and not here? I don't get it.
I don't know.
It's just the culture. I think it's the culture. The scene. Like they like games that are difficult and prove a challenge. This game has that, and they don't mind they don't mind like the 2D graphics because then they get the quality gameplay which they're more associated with. Whereas for us, we kind of want that 3D environment. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what America has, but they have some kind of obsession with the point and click. It's so simplistic.
But I think so does Korea and China. I think they like point and click a lot too. Like they play StarCraft, they play Diablo.
Well, those are different. Those are strategy games. I'm talking about like Fly for Fun and all those ones. The ones where
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, you click the character and they fight for you and hit hot keys.
Oh, that's so boring.
I hate those. I cannot stand those anymore. After DFO, I will not touch one.
You know what I do? You know what I do during those games? I'm like watching a movie on the side. Like I have my, I split my computer in half. Like half is playing the game, like leveling up. The other half I'm like watching like the latest Marvel movie, because I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm playing a game and I'm bored. Like what? Why is that happening?
That's bad gameplay. If you're bored and your game becomes work, it's not a game anymore. It's work. You know.
Absolutely, and Professional asks, is it possible that DFO will become at...
Sorry, that was my mom.
That's all good. But he's saying, is DFO going to be as popular and as big in America? And the question is, I don't know, because technically the game came out before and it didn't do so well, which is what Nexon says. They say, oh, it didn't perform well. Then you have like their game Mabinogi, which they like keep on life support for some reason, even though we just know it's not the right game for America. Like it's not the game that America wanted to play.
Yeah, the problem is with the American market, we're more obsessed with very graphically beautiful games and shooters. Like Call of Duty and Battlefield and similar titles do phenomenal in the American market.
Yeah.
But when you have games like MMOs and other RPG strategy games, they don't do nearly as well. You don't hear about them as much. And unfortunately, that's just the American market.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just like say this real fast. Like when I was a kid and I would go to an arcade, there were like few games I'd play. It would be like I would play like the latest beat 'em up. So like you got your Streets of Rage, Final Fight, The Simpsons, like the Simpsons arcade game, and you had like games like Metal Slug. And if you think about it, those games are essentially Dungeon Fighter. Like that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So that's why Dungeon Fighter appeals to me. And I thought everyone else played those games too because they're just like those fun arcade games. But so
Right.
whenever I'm in a conversation at like a party and someone says, "Oh, what's that game that you used to play all the time?" I'm like, "Dungeon Fighter." It's like, "Why did you like it so much?" I'm like, "Have you played like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on arcade?" It's like, "Oh yeah, that game's amazing." That's the game. That's the game. Just take RPG elements and smash it into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, and that's what Dungeon Fighter was, and that's why it's the
Yeah.
best game ever made.
You
End
know,
of
it
discussion.
is one.
Drop
It is
mic.
one big niche. It is one big niche to fill. Not many people are grinding, and I think that's the biggest thing about America is we're all about instant gratification.
Right.
How long does the normal shooter last?
You talking about Call of
Halo
Duty?
4's
'Cause that's
campaign
not
took me
normal.
about 7.5 hours.
7.5 hours. Okay. How long is every match in
Oh,
Halo
10,
4?
10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, right?
Probably.
Yeah, 10-15 minutes.
Now, how long is the traditional game of Final Fantasy? 50
I
40
believe
hours.
I
Yeah.
put about 40 hours into 12, and I think I was like not even halfway through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much of that is just pure grinding?
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. How much of it's story? Like, I'm going to say 20% being,
Yeah.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, I think, is the fact that
Well-
Americans are into instant gratification.
And that's like with Titanfall. Its campaign, quote unquote,
There is no campaign.
is literally
Chase.
the
Let's get that-
multiplayer.
Let's
Yeah.
get that out of the way, Chase. The campaign
Well-
was basically a podcast happening while you're playing the game. It was
Yeah.
basically this, but instead of
was
the
like-
overlay that we have, it was Titanfall.
You're playing.
That's the
Yeah.
only difference.
You're playing the game while
And-
War of the Worlds pod dude is talking.
Yeah,
That's pretty much
like-
it.
That's what the gaming market is becoming in America, and it sucks.
And it's stupid.
Well,
Ugh.
we're here to bring
Anyway.
justice in. We're gonna ring in the justice.
That is
Yes.
what happened to Final Fantasy 13. I guarantee it. That is. Bring that up later.
All
Anyway,
right. So let's move on to our next section. All right.
Yeah,
So our
we're
next session we have our
Okay.
next section is the male gunner spotlight. So we're gonna show this little video we have before we discuss it.
you show it, not. Never mind.
So pretty, so pretty. I love it.
You got it? We're going?
Oh, I
There
got
it
it.
is.
Oh, I got it.
We
All
need
right.
a code
So
for when start and stop, so we don't talk during the damn thing. Anyway.
that's all right. I mean, people like our voices. I think.
Okay.
Oh, well, you know it. All right, so yeah, that was the male gunner. That male gunner, that's the Second Awakening patch. That was the video. Firebird just took it and he just put a little bit on the end and he's like, it's his now. So he made it, copyright, trademark, whatever.
I just cut the fuck out of it.
Those are some
Sorry.
sexy looking gunners, though.
Yeah,
So I
right?
really-
They look really pretty. I'm like,
They are.
damn!
yeah.
They're using like Clarins face moisturizer or something. That was some, wow, they have pretty faces.
Maybe it's 18. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so we're back to the Ranger Spotlight that we made last week, which didn't take off too well.
Yes, yeah.
We
So
don't
let's
talk about-
go on the Ranger Spotlight. We have our Ranger Spotlight expert Chase with us today.
We
Well,
call to an
that's you,
expert,
Chase.
so you better know.
Yeah,
what
we
you're talking about.
we call me an expert, but I'm the most experienced with Rangers on this podcast at the moment.
Hence
so,
the expert in the podcast.
Expert.
Look, I'm just saying, when the Second Awakening comes out, I will be all on that. But until then,
Oh, yeah.
Chase, you're the expert.
oh yeah. All right, so Rangers.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about moving shot.
Moving shot, yes. One of my favorite skills in the Rangers arsenal. You can... The best part about it is that you can combine it with so many other buffs and skills. And if you have that moment where you're like, oh, I'm facing the wrong direction when I activated this ability, you just slap Z and you're facing the correct direction. And it's a very forgiving and unforgiving skill, depending on which end of it you're on.
Yeah.
So, you're telling me that when I activate moving shot, do I have super armor like during moving shot the entire time?
I think you do. It has been a really long time.
I really hope so, because a ranger isn't really known for their like super armor. They don't have too much super armor, so I would hope a move like that has it, because it's just like that move where it's like once someone hits you, you kind of get out of it, and that would be kind of crappy.
Yeah, I want to say that it does, but I can't say that it does with 100% certainty.
Yeah.
But it's like you can move while shooting, so you can get yourself out of the way of danger while you're firing, so you don't really need to worry about super armor.
When I remember, you don't have super armor, because I remember a lot of people used to buy, or a lot of rangers used to buy my potions because I was an alchemist. I don't think you have super armor.
Okay, so I mean, we're looking at the chat right now, and a lot of people are saying no SA. So yeah.
Oh, okay. No. I remember.
It is not a super armor move.
Like I said, I'd give those super two gunners, and they'd use them.
I do feel like moving shot would be OP with super armor because it's already so versatile, but yeah, apparently it doesn't.
Remember when we partied together and I'd send you some fire bullets?
Yes.
I'm just waiting for the when we all party together, and basically this is what's gonna happen. Chase is gonna be our damage dealer. I'll play a satyr, and I'll just give satyr. Satyr is the ultimate god tier character. I'll just be like, oh yeah, here you go, take some strike, and I'll give you a divine blessing, and I'm just gonna do divine intervention, and then go at it, have fun. I'll stay back and watch. And then Firebird would be like, and here's some fire bullets.
Fire bullets plus whipping out a pair of hand cannons at the same time.
Oh,
like
God,
the damage is just obscene.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I personally, we had like a similar setup with our team back in Dungeon Fighter. Like whenever I played my satyr, essentially we had a satyr, we had a support Nen master, and then we had two DPS characters. So one was mostly holding, but the other one was just pretty much like the damage dealer. It was like a male striker. So essentially, it was give him all the buffs and watch him make the speedrun video. That was it. It's like go at it, have fun. Yeah, it was just it's sick. So I never liked playing like the character that's responsible for killing everything too much. Yeah. I mean, my main character is a monk, and we all know monks are they're in a special group of we don't do damage, but we definitely keep things hit a lot. That's our goal. But I get over it. But I mean, wasn't the Ranger heavily dependent on high reinforced gear?
I heard they were expensive.
Yeah. Running a Ranger was definitely an expensive thing. Like while Firebirg's making millions and making all of his cubes, I'm over here looking into my empty coin purse and just like, well, yeah, that's a thing.
What a session.
Oh, you have
of damage.
Chase, you have a question. They're asking, what was your Ranger build when you were playing?
I responded in chat.
Oh, well, that's a good question, because there are two different ones, basically the revolver and the hand cannon.
Yeah.
So if you're going to use the hand cannon, I guess it's best to use like kick skills.
I honestly only used the hand cannon for moving shot, and it was very seldom that I did that, only when I felt like reaping some absolute chaos. But I mostly did revolver because I just love revolvers. Out of the entirety of history, the revolver is my favorite weapon.
Is there a reason why? Did something happen in your youth that made your revolver your favorite weapon?
It's just revolvers just look cool. They sound really cool. Beautiful when you fire them.
Yeah.
And the only thing that really sucks about them is reloading them.
I have to say,
but
I appreciate revolvers too because of Metal Gear Solid, because of Revolver Ocelot, one of the best characters in that series.
Oh.
Yeah, and I remember because he walks in, he's got like this revolver. He's like, "This is a single action revolver, the greatest handgun ever made." And he gets his hand cut off. He's like, "Oh, my hand! I can't use the greatest handgun ever made."
Metal Gear Solid 3 was the funny one where he's like,
oh god, he's like doing tricks the whole time. He's like,
he jams his gun.
oh no, Joan Gan jam. He's like, you should use a revolver. It's the best weapon.
And he goes, wow, and then I'm like, oh god, that was the best. Let's walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
that I can seriously do a whole episode just on Metal Gear Solid, but that's not the right podcast.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about
that could be a side thing.
But
all right, so I was gonna ask. So I know, Chase, you're not the expert on the female counterpart of Ranger, but
right.
Why would someone make a male Ranger over a female Ranger, assuming they don't care about the gender? Because I know some people are like, well, I want to play a guy, or some people are like, I want to play a girl.
Yeah.
So aside from that, what would be the difference?
Honestly, I would say Scud Genocide, the Awakening ability.
Female Ranger. Corsair. Anyway, go on.
For because it's got such a gratifying feel when you're just firing off this hailstorm of bullets, and then everything's freezing as you're dead, or as they die, and then you just land, snap your fingers, and they all explode in an instant. It's such a pretty ability. It's so pretty.
That's true.
And
I remember that.
Yeah.
Females are better with kick skills, I think. That's the biggest thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're better when you're using kicks.
Because I remember in our last update, it was always like assumed like a female Ranger was that's what you built for PvE, and then but now like male Ranger is kind of like where it's at, like with the Korean update. Yeah. So if we went to Korea now, that's where it's at.
Like Haxer on here is saying, female Rangers, you do a lot of kicking and you're faster, whereas the male Ranger, you're just slapping X all day, which is, in my opinion, it's fine because you do a lot of that's where your damage is in your basic attacks, not so much your abilities. Most of your abilities are for clearing big crowds and buffing your basic shots.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you like to play, just like everything else.
Yeah.
I personally prefer the male Ranger. I looked at the female Ranger's kit and I didn't even give her a shot.
Ha! Yeah. Got it. Shot. Do honor. Ha! So good!
Anyway.
So thrilling. Hey, at least he's not doing the death stare. The infamous death stare. Don't stop.
I don't want to.
Don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Alright, so... Alright, moving on. We're going to do a quick little... Basically, do a quick little snippet of DFO Core. For you guys who do not know, DFO Core is a forum website used for all your DFO needs. I feel like we're in advertising right now.
We're not.
It's like a commercial.
Let me do it for you.
So,
all right.
We
don't have a forum right now, so go to DFO Core if you want to join the chat. That's all you got to say. Give them all the love you can, because
they work super hard. They have their mission statement essentially is to provide professional material in an environment that's very community friendly, very helpful. For those of you who have been in other forums and have noticed like, oh, people are really mean to me, like that is not DFO Core. We're very nice, very helpful people. The moderators are great. I speak with them all the time on Skype. Really loving crowd. Some of them are even on the podcast right now, so they can send a little hello. But really awesome, and we have great plans to expand later on and make this Twitch page more collaborated with them in the future. But for now, they would love your support. They want to be the most viewed forums, and we want them to be the best forums also. So feel free. The link is up there, dfocore.com. Have a look at it. Register an account and say hello to one of us. Like I'm there. I have the same name, Dabosh. You can always find me. I think Fiber get the same exact name too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great community. I was a moderator for about a month, and they just didn't need me because the forum is just so clean. There are no people ever cussing or doing anything bad, It's just a very safe environment. You don't have flamers saying stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It's
a very well-behaved community.
Very well-behaved. They're beautiful people. I mean, it's a little bit dead right now, but I don't blame it because we have nothing to talk about. So, yeah, I don't care if they become the most viewed community. I know that's their mission statement, but I just want it to be the best community.
Yeah, I give you that. Like if it's not the most searched forum, that's just the way it is. But if you want a really the best for information, if you just want pure information about Dungeon Fighter and you want to communicate with people who have that information or are willing to share it, they're just the greatest people that you can ask. They do not insult you in any way. They're not bad mouthers. They're just great people to work with. And
as long as we're the best, we will be the most searched upon. I think that's just how it is.
I agree. I mean, yeah, being the goal is to be the best, not the most searched. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Go. Anyway. Okay, we did that. Our obligatory
plug-in
missions.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead now with our community spotlight of the day. Spotlight. Woo! The community spotlight today is. Did I even do it this time?
I don't know.
Yeah, I did. All right.
Cue video.
Sky of Sarah, and now we're gonna cue the video right now for you guys.
Now. Still waiting on you, buddy.
We're having a little technical difficulties. 1 second. I'm the greatest.
Oh, well, people can hear you this time.
Oh, I know. That's fine. That's fine.
It's fine. If people can hear you, I'm happy.
Yeah. We're moving up in ranks. We're getting better and better every day, right? Whoop.
Best spotlight ever.
This spotlight has been brought to you by Sky of Sarah. If any complaints or anything, please complain to Sky of Sarah, not me.
Yeah, that's all she's doing. She's doing Bosch's job. That's why she's here. She's not talking.
Yeah, there you go. All right, there we go. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's temporary. It's a little small, but we got it.
All right.
I gotta admit, watching this video, she is super powerful.
Yeah, well, I'll wait till it's over.
Okay, and we're back.
All right. So, what was the name of that person who
that is that? Sky of Sarah. It is now on our podcast overlay in red for bloody awesome.
Yeah. So go check out her other videos. Another thing is you'll notice that there's a Final Fantasy 13 theme on there. We'll talk about that later. But.
No, I think we should talk about it now, Fireberg. I think you have quite a thing
yeah, that's actually the perfect time.
Yeah, it's time. You've been hinting at it since the first minute. And I'm like, you know what, Fireberg? If you got something to say about Final Fantasy 13, I suggest you say it.
Okay, last week I tried to defend it because I was playing it before as a kid and I loved it, but I tried to play it this week and it was putting me to sleep. The narrative is fine. If it was a movie, it would have been good, but the game itself is very weak. And which is hard for me to say. I'm the biggest Square Enix fan in the world. And it hurts. Just like my chest because my brother beat me up last night. Oh. He's a big dude. Anyway. I've been playing a game called Persona 4, which I just bought. And it's beyond excellent comparatively to Final Fantasy 14. And Final Fantasy 13 was closer to Persona 4. I would have been a lot happier, but...
So what was it that So I did not play Final Fantasy 13 because I had a friend in college who bought it, and I just watched him play a little bit, and I'm just like where can you go? He's like, well, you just keep going straight.
Yeah.
To a cutscene. I'm like, what? That's not Final Fantasy though.
Well, Final Fantasy 10 was just like that.
I actually did not play 10.
Then we're not having this conversation. If you didn't play 10, then you don't know any of the classics.
Look, I played 6, 7, 8, and 9, and I felt those were all amazing games. 10,
you follow a line, just keep walking forward. But something weird thing is it's fun. I don't know what it is that makes it fun.
So what did 10 have that 13 lacked? Because if you're telling me they're both going straight, I'm like, okay, well I got to be drawn by something now. If I just keep I'm going to get it toward.
The difference is in Final Fantasy 13 you're always going straight, but you're always on a road. Final Fantasy 10 you're always going straight, but it doesn't feel like you're always moving straight. There's always something that breaks it up. So You're in your own world. Then you get taken to the new world. You go forward. Someone catches you. You go down to help them with the ship. You come back up. You get sucked in a typhoon. You go to this place. They help you. Get on a boat. You go here. Then you go to somewhere else. And then you go forward. And then you find yourself in this other place. It's just like you're on a journey. In Final Fantasy 13, you're running away. That's the biggest thing. But I thought that was... The thing is, the strength of the game, I thought, was the fact that you heal after every battle. So every battle is just as perilous as the last.
Is that in 13 that you heal after every battle?
Yeah. Because you can keep your health can go all the way down, but it's still okay because you're going to heal. So you don't have to keep using potions.
Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of like urgency for the next battle?
Yeah, it does, but it makes the urgency for that battle a lot more. So you can use every single skill you got because you know that you got to get your mage to heal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's more important of that battle, not the next. But I found out that is a weakness because of how they do how do I put it? When you die, you don't get sent back to the last place you saved. You get sent back 2 feet from the enemy you just fought. So there is no urgency in that game.
Yeah, because I have to admit, there are times when I play older Final Fantasy games, and when I died, it's like, back to the save point you go from way back when.
You throw your controller because you have to start from the save point.
Oh, I'd rage so hard. I'm like, God damn it! It's like throw against the wall. It's like the corner's like, why do you hate me? It's not you! You're just a vessel of my anger. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the difference is, when you're playing in a normal Final Fantasy game, you're saving because you don't want to lose your grind stats. You don't want to lose the levels that you lost. In Final Fantasy 13, you're saving because you want to be, as soon as you save, you know that you're able to shut off the console without losing your progress. That is the biggest difference. So, okay, I got to the checkpoint. I can go play something else now. And you don't want to have that feeling.
Yeah. I mean, that's the last thing I want to have when I'm playing a game and I'm like, oh, can't wait to the next checkpoint so I can stop playing this game.
Yeah.
Like, the only time, when I was young, the only time I would stop playing was if, like, my parents would be like, we're going to be late. I'm like, okay, I just got to make it to the checkpoint, and I'll save.
Yeah,
you know,
God,
that's
that was
it.
the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just... I was so ready to defend it last week, and I played it for 3 days last week, and I'm like, I'm not defending it anymore. I'm writing a list of things that are wrong with it, and the things that I thought were right with it. There's no character development. I mean, Snow's cool, but fucking tropey ass, I'm best person ever character.
Right.
If it was just a movie, I would have enjoyed it because I do like the narrative.
So it had good narrative then.
Yeah. Also, it was very visually beautiful. That's all it was.
That I will definitely agree with you. It looked stunning. It looked really nice.
That's just Square Enix's style.
Yeah, I mean they still do pre-rendered cuts, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean,
but
it still looks flawlessly.
It switches flawlessly. You can almost barely tell when they switch between pre-render and engine. That was the best part. It was so close, like a margin of difference. Like
I guess then why bother with pre-render then if their in-game engine is comprehensible to the same thing?
Save space and
that makes sense.
Obviously you're gonna get better visuals that aren't normally in the game. Like, you don't want to model a whole ship just so you can show it zooming by, you know?
That's true.
Or like one of the chase scene, stuff like that. But normal play is very comparable to the pre-rendered scenes.
All right.
But, yeah, I'm done with that rant. Okay, rant over.
All right, so...
Also, I just want to mention that even though they have a theme on here, on the little video, we don't condone modding your client, but we do enjoy watching it.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna put a community spotlight like, hey guys, look at this really cool Final Fantasy 13. By the way, don't do that.
Yeah.
I swear to God, don't do that.
Well, think about. Oh, I just don't want to get in trouble. So it's like, you know, I don't want No Opal to say, you know, these are good people, but look, they condone this, you know. So
that's true. That's true.
All right, so Absolutely Unprofessional asks us what our favorite event in old DFO was. I personally cannot recall any events.
The male fighter was a fun one.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Or you could have that Alienware, and we grinded so hard.
That, yes. And then I bought an Alienware and realized that they're actually not that great. But I mean, upgrading from what I had as a computer in Alienware was bloody fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. I would say my favorite one. You remember the time when you actually had to talk to your the NPCs to get like profession items?
Yeah. Oh, I love those.
You remember how you had to talk to them and you had to gift them, and then they just give you like the good items, and you're always like, I want an ancient mandrake. It's like, here's some carrots. I don't want these carrots. I want the ancient mandrake. Let me make the potions.
I did like that, but I didn't like having to talk to them every day. But it wasn't that bad. I don't know why they took it out.
It just felt like it was funny because it felt like a nice little chore. It's like you're done. You know, we're grinding the dungeon. It's like, all right, we're out of fatigue points. What are we gonna do now? Let's just talk up in town. Let's go talk with people, and then they start liking you and they give you nicer things.
Yeah, exactly.
They even had like their photo would change. If they liked you a lot, they'd be like blushing now because they're like, oh, you're here, like that. Yeah. It's just the funniest thing ever.
I also want to bring something up that real life is not like dating sims. I've never gotten a girlfriend by just throwing shit at her and walking away.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just want to let you know that. Because I actually, not even kidding, in high school, I liked this cute girl, and I would always bring her a soda every day because her family wouldn't let her have soda. And it didn't work out. But funny thing is, though, now she lives at her mother's, and she's just getting fatter. So, point for me.
Maybe it's the soda, dude.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, maybe that thing that your parents were doing wasn't bad. Yeah. Maybe you're hypoglycemic.
Oh.
I like the binding of Isaac.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good icon.
Cause that's my mother's ringtone. If you didn't notice.
Oh yeah.
It's my mother's ringtone. I
was like, what is that? That sounds so familiar. I'm like, oh my god, it's the binding of Isaac.
I love binding of Isaac, and that's why it's my mom's ringtone. You're running away from mother.
Yeah.
Isaac.
I guess if you consider it an event, the one that amused me the most was the returning hero.
Which one was that?
That's where if you were gone for like 2+ weeks and you came back, you got a bunch of really good gear, some items, and a really overpowered title.
Yeah, it's not really a
I mean, it was kind of sort of an event when it was first released, but then it just kind of.
It's like motorcycle insurance. You just pay for it once a month.
Yeah.
Need it. But, it's seasonal.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I like how none of us mentioned like the obvious ones, like the Christmas events, like the winter ones.
These aren't as memorable. I do
like the Halloween ones.
Goblins.
Golden Goblin?
That Golden Goblin egg. You don't remember the Golden Goblin egg?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did other people say? Some people said Leap Event. Oh, that's pretty cool. I remember those. Those are the best. Like, I would purposely not play a certain character because I kind of anticipate, okay, we're going to have a Leap Event soon. And I'm like, it's like, oh, what was it? Male Mage came out. I'm like, Male Mage, I might make one. I'm like, I'll wait for a Leap Event, and then I'll make one. And then that's what happened. I made level 40, like, Glacial Master.
Oh, that. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was just like a nice way, like, just get that character like halfway through max level. To me, I was like, that's cool. I'll take that any day.
Speaking of events, remember when I still don't to this day know why exactly they did it, but the priest cut his hair.
Oh yeah. That was a really interesting thing because that was the only character who got a completely cosmetic overview.
Yeah. And I honestly don't understand it either. I like the old priest look a lot better than the new priest.
I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people do like the old priest look more, because it looks more like a heavy metal rocker with the hair.
Yeah.
They just changed it because I guess in Korea, they didn't really appreciate the look because it looked too American to them.
Oh, okay. I thought he was kind of rocking a Jesus look actually with the long hair.
I mean, that was their point. Like if you looked at his outfit, he kind of had like the Punisher look, but it was like a cross instead of like a skull. So he basically was wearing the Punisher outfit, and it was Jesus and the Punisher put together.
Here's the thing I don't understand though. They're more worried about his wardrobe and his long hair
than his skills.
Than the fact that he punches people with a cross.
I think that is the best thing ever invented.
It's like
eat some Jesus! Eat Jesus!
I understand that he's using a cross as a weapon, but why is his hair so long? I had an old man, when I had long hair, I had an old man come into my work and said, I was just selling him some batteries, like, I read this in the Bible, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bible says it's not a sin to have long hair, but it is a shame. And I'm like, I just want to say so bad that, didn't Jesus have long hair? Isn't that how he's portrayed?
Absolutely.
Why is it shameful to have long hair if you're a dude? If Jesus,
I don't know, dude. Like, everyone has their own thing to say.
But it was just like, why, old man? Why you got to do this? Put your batteries in your bag. You're welcome.
I think that honestly, they just went. They felt like the people who played priest, was not that high, so they decided to just do a whole new change. Because the priest patch actually was more than just like the cosmetic change. Like, that's when they made the EXO like become what the EXO is today. Because before he was really different. And they made the monk. The monk had the whole like his wheel driver now actually was like a thing you would do. Like, you want to always have it in each room, because before it was like, put wheel driver down, go fight the rest of the game. Like, let's go fight. Now it's like an aura thing. And like, I remember this big deal, because I have this little thing I want to show you guys, actually. There actually was an event, I remember now, during the priest patch. And it was like, write to us about why you like the priest patch, and we'll send you this. A priest patch. See that? Yeah. Oh, you guys, I know FireBerg and Chase can't see it, but on the Twitch stream, you guys will show it. It is a legitimate patch that you can like iron on your shirt or something, and it has the priest symbol, which is like the two hands in prayer. It is sick. I just kept it because I was like, I gotta keep this. It's just so good.
Raikou Sanagi in chat mentioned that 3/4 of his subclasses have long hair still, so they didn't fix everything entirely.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And also, here's the thing: the priest was more buff looking with the old stuff, because it was like a tight-fitting spandex suit, aka the Punisher. And now it's like he's like wearing like this, like he's wearing a nice like white blazer.
Yeah.
He's just rocking. He's like, I'm in my day suit. What's up? Let's go fight evil.
To be fair, it looks a little bit more like a priest would, because black is.
Yeah. And he's got whatever those shoulder drape things are.
Yeah, that thing. So it looks a little bit more like a man of the church. Yeah. But the best thing I love doing is that during that event, I kept a priest that I haven't used in forever.
Yeah.
And I didn't awaken him, and I left him there until the Avenger came out. And I had an Avenger with that.
See, I did the same thing, actually. But then they had that whole thing with, like, if you make an Avenger, like, they had this whole special, like, prize thing, and that only came out if you made a new priest. So, although I had that all set up and ready, I actually deleted that character and made a new one, because I wanted to rush this character to level 70 as fast as possible, because I was so stoked on the Avenger.
It wasn't worth it to me. I wanted to be the guy with an Avenger who was a freaking original priest.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing for me is, like, although, like, I go by Dabosh and my main character is a monk, like, I think towards the end, I just played more my Satyr and my Avenger. So whenever I, like, think about, like, artwork and stuff I would want done or commissioned, I wouldn't just have Dabosh. I would actually have, always want all three of them there. But since my name is Dabosh and that was my monk's name, I just keep it as is, because I like it. It's a cool name.
I don't know why people are calling people lucky. I mean, everything that we had is now gone.
No, they're talking about I think they're talking about the priest patch I showed them, the actual patch.
Oh,
yeah.
Because we're like lucky. I'm like, it's gone. It's all gone. All of our accomplishments are gone.
You'll come back, man. Just
okay.
Dude,
that's start from the beginning.
Let's write Neo like an actual a legitimate letter and just send it to him, and then we'd be like, we like old priests, so if you can at least every time you make a priest character, give us the default avatar sets, even though they don't have any stats. Like, we don't want stats.
For a month, just a month. Just put it up like that,
Yeah.
So, FireBerg, I just thought of a random question for you.
Yes.
Now that Nexon has done what it did, and this being a product of Nexon, how do you feel about having had the Legion of Merit?
Fuck you.
No, you gotta answer the question more than that, FireBerg.
You too. I don't know. I mean, the only reason I have clout in this community is because I had that from the forum days.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if you look it up, you just see a lot of people whining about it, so I really don't care anymore. I mean, I did a lot more than people read that I did, you know? I stayed in the community, I answered questions, I gave people... Back when Chronicle gear was big, I used to give out all my Chronicle stones because I didn't care about the gear. And I had this post where it's like, I have a few amount of these. So I'm saying today, only today, if you contact me, I'll give you these. Because I didn't have a big chest, and I didn't want to throw them away because people found them valuable. I said, I'll give it to you. I'll give them to you. If you want red cubes, I got those too. And I just gave them out, and it lasted a month. I grinded stuff so I'd have more stuff to give people.
Right.
This was back when Awakenings just started, so people needed those red cubes because Danjin ate them like they were spaghetti.
Yeah.
Give me more red cubes.
So I just handed out all my stuff for a month, and then people were like, "He didn't do anything for the community." I'm like, "What? Don't be like that."
Like I'm sure Legion Merit will come back. Like I'm sure because Neopol looks like they really care more about getting those members in the community who like stand out. And here's hoping that Fiber gets it back for being a nice guy, and maybe Chase Knack can like tag along Bean's entourage.
I didn't care about the title as much. I like those purple wings because it made me stand out.
They were pretty killer.
I mean, they did, of course, because there's only what 4 other people who had them.
Yeah.
Me,
Moosey, which was also a great member of the community. Mazpan, who created that DFO tournament.
Yeah.
And it was huge. It was awesome because he put his own money into a tournament. He definitely deserved it. Moosey, who did the DFO quiz for like 2 years or like a year before the event ever came out, you know?
Yeah.
And she's the reason why they created that Quizmaster. They had the whole Quizmaster event for Moosey.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And they gave her that Quizmaster title for permanence. And that was really cool.
Nice.
There was also another one. I feel so sorry. I can't remember her name because she was so nice in chat. And she would help everybody. You'd almost think that she was a part of the
like a GM team or something like that.
I think she was a GM because she was so nice. She always helping people. Whenever you'd help, she'd have this really nice, well-worded sentence. It wasn't just like, "Oh, go here, do this, and you're fine," you know. And she'd explain everything. I feel so bad that I don't remember her, but I can't pull up the forum, and I haven't seen her name in a year or so, you know. So she got the title, and I can't really remember how many other people have.
Do you know if it's possible for you to get in communication with them to be on the show sometime? I think people would love to like hear from them because these are like the people you should like know in the community because they're just so nice.
You know, I bet I can find them a DFO source. I think they do post there. I don't know if Moosey posts anymore, but it probably is in source if she does.
I remember Anonymous was on she's on the first podcast we had. So
that is, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we can find her, or maybe someone on the podcast, or maybe someone watching right now knows Anonymous. So if you know Anonymous, personally, like, you email or like call or text her, like let her know that we like her and we want her to be on the podcast.
Yeah,
she would be awesome to have for the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Next topic, because we're running out of time.
Yeah, let's keep going.
There was one other that we had to talk about. I can't remember what it was though. Party, community spotlight, promote DFO core. No, we had another discussion that we were going to talk about.
Here he goes, dropping the ball again.
I'll drop your ball. In the toilet. Because we were talking about something. Oh well.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So the next conversation we had is DFO artistic?
Oh yeah, that one. That's what I was looking for.
Okay. So.
Okay. I was going to bring this up earlier, and I didn't because I knew this topic was coming up. But you're talking about how people want the beauty of 3D gaming versus 2D gaming. Well, there's nothing wrong with 2D gaming. It's actually very aesthetically pleasing. Second, it is not as easy as people think. Sprite making is difficult. You have to do it frame by frame. It is a chore. Yeah. Especially making new outfits for everybody and making sure it fits every model. And especially every subclass, because each subclass has a different model and each subclass has a different movement to each skill. That is work. that is not, oh, this is easy because we just have to model this new costume around it. It's work. And that's why I think all those avatars cost so much, because they're hard to make. It's impossible to imagine how much work goes into those. One person cannot do one avatar set unless it takes them a year.
Right.
It's just
And
so much work.
along with that, one of the things I've always wondered until I knew more about sprite making when I first started playing DFO is why when I put this piece of armor on, does it not show on my character?
Yeah.
And then I learned a bit about sprite making and how many frames per second DFO ran at, and I'm like, holy Christ, that would be a lot of models to make.
Right.
So, yeah. And then along with that, like the arcade look, before we had consoles, before we had computers, well, okay, arcade games are computers, but before we had like in-home PCs for gaming, like you went to the arcade to play your games. And just the look of an arcade game in itself has become an art because it is such a part of the gaming culture from way back when. And for those who can appreciate that, it is an art, not just a game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
that's my take on it.
I completely agree. I mean, that is the art style. And as I was saying before, like about 5 years ago, a game like Dungeon Fire, I think generally the American public would be like, that's not really an artistic looking game. But because back then it was all like, you know, how many pixels can we jam into the screen for you guys to view? But now it's like the indie game blowing up, like that whole scene's getting big. And those games don't rely on graphics; they rely on like a unique art style. So now people are seeing that as like the broader palette of things. So now, when reintroduced to Dungeon Fire, some people will now look at it with fresh eyes and be like, "Actually, this game is beautiful." And I would definitely say it is because of all the hard work you put into it. It's just it's insanely beautiful.
Another thing that I've noticed, well, Soraya is really quiet, but
she doesn't contribute anything to this podcast.
I know. What are you doing over there? You're just sitting stagnantly in your dorm room. What are you even studying?
Has she
geometry?
Blinked?
No, she won't blink. She's kind of creepy. Maybe she's broken. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I just derailed myself for a joke. It wasn't even worth it.
It's all right. But what we're going to say is we're going to move on to what question that we forgot to answer. Community events. They want to know about your community events, Fiber.
Wait.
He's avoiding the question.
No, I'll get to it. I found it. Have you noticed that gaming has become Major League Gaming has blown up in the last year or so, right?
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
It started before, but Major League Gaming has actually taken a toll in the last year or maybe two.
It was a thing that happened for the longest time, but that was like 5,000, 10,000 prize pools. Now we have them in the millions, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
And not only that, but like recently a college has started giving out varsity scholarships to League of Legends players.
Yeah. I saw the Star League.
It is becoming a thing.
In other words, we can bring this whole topic to another debate at another time. But I'd just like to see DFO try and get its way into that.
If you want to do that, we have to get this game needs to get enough interest both on. It needs to get digital interest, which is like through Twitch and streamers and stuff. And it also needs to get a big interest. Like the PvP scene has to be such a big deal that people will be like, I just want to play. Like they want to play this game.
Right. So. Okay, back to the events.
Yeah.
So, when the game comes back up, I do have several events planned, but this is all going to be based on funds that are in my pocket and our pocket. We'll probably do some kind of funding stuff and all that, but I don't want to do it unless we get enough people on board because I don't like taking money out of anybody's pockets.
Right.
That's just how I am. You can ask Fluffy or Fuzzy in the other room how much I feed them.
Is Fuzzy still alive?
That kid is a black hole. I'm going to tell you right now. I fed him more times. I fed myself. Anyway, so a couple events I have planned. I had that planned before I knew what Fairarena actually was. I need to really do my research on some of this stuff. But I had an idea to have people only level up to 20, and then we fight. I have like an idea for obviously community PvP tourneys because that's just obvious. Dual team, so team tourneys, that would be pretty cool. Outfit contests. So even though if you have those avatars that you don't want to throw away, you don't want to use a bind cube on, you can use them to make custom outfits to make it look cool. Obviously, a set is not going to make any points because they're not original. It's going to be based on originality and how well it all blends together. Stupid stuff like that. We'll have a judge. We'll have people walk on the runway. You know, find an empty place. Because that's the cool thing about DFO is that you can go to a certain server and it will be busy all over here, but in town there's nobody.
Yeah.
So we'll just set up an event and something like that. You both said yeah at the same time.
Dress Up Fighter Online. It's coming back, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Assault of the studio. Also, I've always liked the idea of a pot breaking contest where I give you so many dungeon pots, and whoever makes the most money off of them wins.
Ooh,
but
funny.
The thing is, you got to make regulations so people doesn't just pull like an item and just say, "Okay, I sold." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I was thinking, like I give everybody so many pots, and then they break them and they give them back to me, and I add up the equipment amount, and then they get the items back if they want them. And then they win a prize, you know. Because if you get a rare and you don't want to give it to me, I understand, you know.
Yeah, it's like I got Halgy. It's like you got to sell it now.
Yeah, there's also an event I want to do just for our podcast members. When the game comes back up, I'm going to do a special event where I'm going to hide a like page, and everybody who goes into that like page can like it. And once they do that, you're going to go into a drawing for a certain amount of money. Or, well, not money, but I guess I'll just call them Korean points for now. Yeah. Because we're not going to be next on Karma Coin right now.
We'll call them in-game money.
In-game monies. Gil.
Gil?
Yeah. Depends on how much Gil you get.
Yeah, Gil. So, right, he's Gil. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I like that. Put up a drawing because, it helps out.
Yeah. Because I don't want it to be for everybody who just like, okay, I don't want it to be 1,000 people. I want it to be the... I
want it to be 30 people. Like our 30 people.
Yeah. No, it's not about the money. It's not about how many. I want it to be our most... what is it called? Our biggest fan base, you know? The 30 of you are watching and helping us and supporting us. Everybody else probably has something else to do. But if people who watch this, either live or on YouTube... will be able to enter into this drawing so that you can reap the benefits of being one of our biggest fans, you know, and being our biggest supporters. And I think that's the biggest thing I'd like to do. And depending on how many people enter is depending on how much money I'm going to put into the pool. Not much money I'll give out in Korea coin, in-game dollars, and what the prizes might be. So just look out for that in the future.
I think
anyway,
last thing would be obviously like a PvP contest. Like that's what people like love that, and I like watching PvP contests. Like they are fun. So we can definitely do something where we just spectate. Like all of us will just spectate one, and then we'll just do it probably during the during a podcast in the future. Like it would just be a tournament, and we'll have like a nice little prize pool or something like that. It would just be great. Yeah, and we'd love to do more streams in the future. Another one I had an idea of is a group where your 3 will fight our 3, or like 4 or whatever, like depending on how many people are here, and we'll just do a PvP. And if you beat us, we'll give you something. I think you'll probably beat us because Fireberg and I are just terrible at PvP right now. Well, everybody don't undersell yourselves. We're all starting over. Remember, we're all starting over here. True. We're all starting over. I've got time to room to improve. So all right, so let's head on to our next topic. So community events, we have a lot of things planned. That'd be great. Stay tuned for that. Our next topic is what do we play while DFO is down? Actually, let's switch that one and do what we're excited about from E3 this year, just in case we run out of time. Let's just not do what I suggested. That's fine too. That's fine. Yeah. I'm just saying because we did that. Let's just switch it for now because we only got 15 minutes. Oh crap! That was going fast. Okay. Yeah. So, I watched every single E3 conference the moment it came out. Okay. Or the moment they showed, and
I am most excited for Destiny, hands down.
You know, that's that one game that everyone just kind of forgot about, and then they're like, "Oh, hey guys, we're still here, and this is our game." And now people are like, "Wow, the game's cool." Did you beta test it or did alpha test it?
No, unfortunately, because Bungie is being stupid in their spite for Microsoft, and they're not releasing a PC port. And I have not yet purchased an Xbox One, and I refuse to play it on Xbox. I don't even know if it's being released on Xbox.
It is.
But yeah, I refuse to touch it for Xbox because it's just going to look so bad. So I don't have an Xbox One yet, so I didn't get the chance to alpha it, which I had an invite for it, but like I said, I didn't have an Xbox One, so I didn't. But I am so insanely excited about this game, it's not even funny. I have a limited print of a thing from Destiny sitting up on my computer desk here. I've got the standee in the other room. Like, I am on the hype train.
Mm-hmm. What was it? What was it that
say I'm the conductor?
What is it that drove you about Destiny? Why is Destiny such a big pull for you right now?
The biggest thing is the fact that it's by Bungie.
Okay.
Like, they created Halo, which is by far my favorite game universe outside of other games like DFO, because that's just a completely different genre there.
You're on the Bungie train, just like I'm on the Square Enix train. I'll buy whatever they make, even if
basically,
it's shit.
But I've also watched plenty of their gameplay footage, and it's like Borderlands on steroids, and I love Borderlands too. So like, it's gonna be a blast, and just the neat multiplayer options they have, where you don't have to play multiplayer, but if you want, you can jump in at any time into somebody else's encounter if you see them in trouble over here. Like, that is cool.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to look forward to with this game, and I'm very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Faber, what about you? What was the most interesting thing you saw at E3?
I gotta say, Nintendo won the conference hands down. Not even a competition.
Okay.
It's kind of like the Super Bowl last year. The other team didn't even play.
Sadly true.
But the thing is, Nintendo has so many things. Obviously, I'm on the Brawl train, or the Super Smash Bros. Train. I'm always on that.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered. Well, this isn't related to that, but pre-ordered Curtain Call, or Final Fantasy Rhythm Heaven Curtain Call. Theater Rhythm, whatever. Anyway, their theater game. Also, I pre-ordered the new Super Smash Brothers. I pre-ordered the new Zelda game coming out. I pre-ordered. Oh God, where's my pocketbook going? But everything that Nintendo's doing right now just seems right, except maybe not the me people. But
yeah,
you mean the Tamagotchi life?
No, well, I have that game, and it is amazing. It is hilarious.
Oh, yeah?
And it's definitely worth only the $35 you have to spend for it. Mm-hmm. But you'll probably get bored with it fast, but it's fun. But I'm talking about these little figures that you can buy. And
those. Yeah.
Well,
not sure how that's going to play out.
They're hopping on the Skylanders train, but the best thing is you can transfer data off of them, which has been around forever, but it's just now making waves in the... It's just using near-field connection, radio waves, nothing special. It's using the same information you can use on a SIM card, just like a cell phone, and it holds data, which is good because you can use that same little toy for infinite amount of games that they make for it, you know?
Yeah.
So it reminds me of this on the PlayStation 1, there was this Dragon Ball Z game. I know it sounds like I'm going off topic, but you can play the game, and there's a game where you could level up your own character, make him stronger, get his stats better. By fighting, you can download it onto your memory card. You can go to your friend's house. He can do his own and you can fight the character you've been training so hard for, you know. And I think it's going to have a lot like that. Because Brawl I keep calling it Brawl. The new SSB game is going to be exactly the same, where you can fight with your little figure. Bring a little figure in, fight with him, and then you can dual battle with the guy you trained personally, you know. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited.
What did you think of Splatoon?
I haven't seen it. I heard of it.
It was in the Nintendo broadcast.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest. Didn't watch the whole thing. I saw the word Splatoon, and I kind of just walked and watched something to eat. It's that game with the ink and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the squids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of it. The new Zelda game I'm excited about.
Oh, God. Yeah.
They didn't show anything about Final Fantasy 15, which is sad because I've been tracking that thing since it's been called Final Fantasy 13 Versus.
Yep.
And I'm just glad they took that out
Same
of the
here,
Versus.
man. I was there too. I was like, oh, I cannot wait for 13 Versus. And then I made a bet one day, and I'm just like, well, I think it's going to be called Final Fantasy 15 because it took too damn long.
Yeah.
And that same E3, they announced it. I was like, got it.
I'm so glad they did that. It was so beautiful when you saw that E3 trailer. It's like, boom, this is happening. I'm like, yes, Final Fantasy 13 Versus, blah, blah, blah. And they show Final Fantasy 13 Versus. I'm like, yeah, I was right. And then it goes, boom, 15. Oh!
I reacted the same way pretty much. I was like, what do you mean? Crazy.
Vomit out of just pure expressiveness.
Yeah.
Ugh. But
what about Kabosh?
All right, so I'm super biased here, guys, but my favorite thing was the Phantom Pain trailer that they showed at the Sony press conference.
That was so beautiful, and the music was so awesome.
That song. This is how good. That's how impactful this trailer was. That song went from no one ever heard it to one of the top 5 most played songs on Spotify that week.
Right? Oh my God, it was beautiful because I played the one that just came out, right? The prequel.
Ground Zeroes? Yeah.
Yeah, the game that I bought $40 and paid 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember seeing the plane crash after the girl's chest bomb exploded, the second one.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
And I'm like, you should have played it. But watching no, it was in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. They showed the whole thing in that first trailer, right?
Pretty much. Like,
if you're
a Metal Gear Solid fan, there's only one spoiler alert that you won't miss. And if you even look at the internet, you'll probably have figured it out by then. And if you didn't, trust me, I just saved you 30 minutes. So.
Yeah. But and $40.
And $40, yeah.
But the plane goes down, and then throughout the whole game, he's got this freaking shard of debris in his head. And I thought that was awesome.
There's so much symbolism in that game.
Yeah.
Like, they said, like, the belt, like, in that one shot where he's walking and you see, like, his back, his belt's, like, dangling, right? And, like, Hideo Kojima was like, I did that to represent, like, him, like, having, like, a demon tail. Because he's becoming a demon. Like, he's becoming more evil now. I'm like, Hideo Kojima, you mystic son of a bitch. I swear to God. I don't know how you do it. He is a genius. I don't know how he just does that stuff. And that trailer, because I saw the last year's trailer, the one with Sins of the Father, that song, and I'm like, that is hands down the best show I've ever seen. And then this came out, I'm like, scratch that. This is the best show I've ever seen. I've never been so emotional in my life when watching a trailer. It's just so powerful. It just took me, like, it just took everything away. And I'm kind of like, look, take your time, make this game. I don't care when it comes out. I want it to be perfect when it comes out. Take as long as you need.
Mm-hmm. Open world. It's going to be beautiful. I don't know how he's going to make open world game for a game like this, stealth and espionage, and I hope it doesn't break down. But
he's done many crazy things before, so
yeah.
But
that game looks amazing.
Any cons though? What was one problem you had at E3? One thing that kind of disappointed you?
I mean, besides the Sony and Xbox one, the whole thing.
Gotta be more specific than that. Okay, like for example, I'm guessing Fireberg, yours was there was no Final Fantasy 15 announced.
Oh yeah, that's the biggest thing. And no, what was it? Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Footage, because like I said, I'm a Square Enix fan. Whatever they make, I'll buy, even if it's something like Hitman, which I didn't enjoy. Mm-hmm. But I'll still say it was a great game.
I honestly can't think of anything that I was disappointed about with E3. I'm very open with games, so like I wasn't too biased about anything, and everything just pretty much rocked my world.
Yeah, I think for me it was just I think the Microsoft press conference is really kind of it was just really rubbing me the wrong way.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like it was giving me anything new.
Microsoft did kind of. They were very lazy with their press conference. They just went from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, like they wanted to get it over with.
Right.
But everything that they presented was so fantastic, and I'm so excited for. So, I don't know.
The weird thing is, all this stuff is coming out, and I'm still just hyped for DFO, and it's not even a part of E3.
Yeah.
It's just got some hype behind it, which I'm glad.
It's good.
Yeah. All right, so we got like 5 minutes left. Do you want us to do a quick, like, what's the 3 games you're playing now? Just a quick list.
Yeah, I mean, if
he wants it.
Well, we can do one because I mean, if we go 5 minutes over, why not? Just go briefly about the greatest game you're playing right now.
Okay, so I said this last time.
Okay.
I'll just do 2 because I did last one at the same game. So I'm playing Smite a lot these days. For those who don't know, Smite's like a MOBA, kind of like Dota and League of Legends, but it's in third person, so it's really different. I've actually been playing The Wolf Among Us. I didn't play episode 4, and it came out like a month ago, and episode 5 is coming out this month also. So I'm like, oh, I gotta catch up, and I love those. If you like those adventure games, like Walking Dead, adventure game, like it's just right up the alley. It is super fun.
Isn't it made by Telltale too?
Yeah, it's a Telltale game also. And I like Wolf Among Us more because it just has the main character is a lot more interesting. So those are the 2 games I'm playing right now. Chase, what about you? What are you playing now?
I'm jumping between Borderlands 2, Battlefield 4, and the Mass Effect trilogy. I just recently bought the whole trilogy box set for PC. I had it for Xbox, but I've always wanted it for PC, but I didn't have a good enough PC. Now I have a good enough PC, so I'm playing it on PC. And so I have to do, well, I don't have to, but in order to get all the perks for completing each game in sequence, I'm doing a full playthrough from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 3. So, yeah, those are the 3 I'm dealing with.
I remember there's a picture of that where you're supposed to have, someone thought there was going to be like a general difference in Mass Effect endings, and they compared it to EVs, like Mass Effect endings, and they're different EVs, and they evolved to like a Jolteon, a Flareon, and a Vaporeon. Yeah. But in the end, they're just 3 different colored EVs.
Yeah.
And like that's about right. It's just a different flavor of each of the same ending, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay.
What about you, Feinberg? What are you playing? What's the 2 games you're playing now?
The biggest games I'm playing right now is Mario Kart 8 because I need to make use of that Wii. Persona 4 because fuck Final Fantasy 13. And I've been playing a little bit of Disgaea 3, which is just a lot of grinding.
Yeah.
But Persona 4 is what's taking up all my attention. Oh, and a game called Goat for It on the touch screen. So if you haven't played it before, it's kind of like the new Flappy Birds.
Uh-huh.
But I do it when I'm at work because I got nothing better to do. Goat for it.
Goat for it?
For it. Yeah, it's called Goat for It.
That's such a strange name.
Yeah, so if you guys have any, things you want to just play it, it's fun. Just tap to jump. That's all it is. But, yeah.
All right. So yeah, we wow, that was 90 minutes. Impressive.
Yeah, the Super Podcast.
Super Podcast 2.5. Making redemptions and mistakes are gone.
Oh, you guys are welcome.
All right, so I wanna end with a special announcement. So we are actually looking for streamers. We want people to expand this channel page when Dungeon Fighter comes out. So if you have had streaming experience in the past, if you had a following of some sort, and you're interested in broadcasting on this page, please email us at DaMothBerg@gmail.com. It's down there. You can see that right there.
Also, yeah, I see.
Yeah, I know you can see it, Fiberg. I know you can, but I don't know if our audience can see it. Everyone, point to the name. Chase, point.
Pointing.
Down, bottom left.
I'm pointing to the bottom left.
I mean, Chase isn't. He's pointing at me for some reason.
I honestly don't. It's mirrored. I'm so confused.
All right. So we have that. We really want to expand the page. We want to get people who stream for the channel on other days. So we're trying to build up, more streamers and whatnot. So if you had experience again, email us. Tell us a little about yourself. Give us a link to your Twitch page. We want to know more about you. And if we're interested, we will contact you about it.
I miss Mothy.
I miss Mothy
too. She's supposed to be here this weekend, guys.
Mothy is so much better than Siraya. She doesn't even talk.
Hello there.
Forget me not.
Hello there.
I like her dorm room though. It's actually clean. That's the cleanest female room I've ever seen. I gotta tell you the story though. I was looking up
Seen
images.
a female room?
No, I was looking up images to make that little crop cut out and put her on there. And typed in girls' room, and every one of them was messy. I had to specifically type clean female room, and I got ironic dirty rooms. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's time.
It's time, guys. So, yeah. I'm just going to write one more time our email on the contact list so people know. Email us at DaMothBerg. I feel bad because now our email, even though it's official now, like, Chase is not on it. He's not the Moth. He's not the Moth or Berg. So technically, you have to be Moth temporarily.
I don't know how mine would. I don't know how mine would fit in there.
Go to the Gmail part.
Yeah, Chase your Gmail.
You're the Gmail, or maybe you're the bullet between the L and the C.
There you go.
There we go.
You're somewhere in there, but we're not quite sure.
I'm the bullet between the L and the C. Yeah, that sounds like a rap lyric. I'm the dot in your column.
That's just
All right, we gotta cut this down before it goes worse.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you for joining us. The DFO podcast, the Firebird Can't Do Anything Right podcast. I hope I kept your attention for an hour and a half. We hope to see you again next time, guys. We'll set up the date and we'll let you know. We're probably going to be doing this bi-weekly now, though, because that's kind of how it was. We wanted to do it weekly, but that doesn't work out. We need time to cultivate our ideas and get together and make everything. So it'll probably be bi-weekly.
All right, guys. So hopefully we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So I'm the Bosch. The man to my right is Chase, and the man above me, as always, is Firebird. We will see you guys later.
Have a great one, guys.
Enjoy yourselves.